Well, that's who we are, and that's what we do. And we decided to have this meeting, and it's called Independent Living Friends and Family, because oftentimes when you live independently, it's not just a one-person thing. You have friends and family who's with you, and it can become very confusing. And so we decided that to start it off best, we would define independence. What does independence mean? Dictionary.com says it's not influenced or controlled by others in matters of opinion, conduct, etc. Thinking or acting for oneself, an independent thinker. So that's what independent is on dictionary.com. Sounds great, looks great. Question is, how do you interpret that into your day-to-day life? Especially, how do you interpret it if you have a disability? That leads us to our next point, independent living. So, sum it all up, real easy. It's the right to choose. What does that mean? What is the right to choose? Well, choice can lead to success or failure. Great standpoint. But oftentimes, it's very hard for people to understand. Society, good or bad, sometimes view disability as a failure in itself. We failed the physical battle. Some of us have physical disabilities, mental, emotional, cognitive, vision, hearing, and we failed that part. So, for us to try something and fail can be very, very hard for our friends and family to wrap their minds around. My parents love me. My mom wants the world for me. And I'm diagnosed with epilepsy. It was really, really hard for her to handle it. She hated it for me. She hated to see me struggle. Watching me flop on the floor like a fish was not her favorite pastime. So when I wanted to do things in my life that might cause me to fail, it was that much harder for her to let me. But why is taking risk and making choice important? Lydia, who works with us at Access to Independence, said something that stuck with me. And it's something that her grandmother told her, and I'm going to ask her to share it with you. And it's a reason why it's important to let people with disabilities take the choices, make the risk, have the successes and the failures. Because if you think about your own life, it's from your failures that you've probably learned the most, good and bad. And that's the way it is in real life. It's from your failures that you learn what you can accomplish and you can't. Lydia, will you hold on one second and share what your grandmother said?
I started going to college at the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I was struggling a lot because I didn't have the proper accommodations. And I began to fail some classes, and I was really discouraged, and I was telling her about it, and I was crying, and she said, "Baby, it's only a failure if you quit trying. That's the only time you fail in life. You learn the most through your failures, so don't be afraid to try."
That's good. So true.
And so oftentimes it's when we don't get to take the choices that we really are failing, when we don't try, because that's what true failure really is. It's not trying. Well, that leads me into what is the role of friends and family? Is up there really fast. That's the question. That's what we're here to find out. It can be very, very confusing because oftentimes you're our helpers, you're our caretakers. You're more than just our friends and family. You help us get around. For me, you're my driver. You tend to me when I've had a seizure. And that can get really confusing. It can confuse my role and how I feel about you. It can confuse how you feel about me. And so that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about what is the role of friends and family and how we can all work together so that independence is possible and encouraged. The first point is disability is a group effort, and that's hard to think about it that way. It's not just a singular thing. I myself have the disability of epilepsy, but my husband feels it, my daughter feels it, my mom feels it, my grandmother feels it, our family feels it. So it affects all, and that's something that it's good for us to keep in mind. It's good for us to remember that disability is more than just about you, but when it's a group effort, you need to be aware of how to handle situations when they arise, because it's going to happen. Unfortunately, disabilities are not comfy cozy. They don't roam in the regular punches. Things happen out of the ordinary, and you need to know how to handle it. So, conversations are essential. I often sometimes wet myself when I have a seizure. It's very uncomfortable. Very, one of those things, it's not my favorite thing to do. And if I'm with people who are with me, they need to know how to handle it. Because if you're pretending that I'm not wetting myself and acting like it didn't happen, you're pretending you don't smell it. I know you smell it. I'm sitting in it. At the end of the day, I've still wet my pants, and we still got to know what to do about it. Nothing's going to change. So you have to learn how to handle conversations. I have an example outside of that one. When I have epilepsy, for some strange reason, it makes me extremely irritable. And the person that seems to bring it out the most in me is my husband. We've yet to understand why, but when I'm going to have a seizure, he tends to make me the most irritated. And he can pick up on it right away and say, Nicole, you're going to have a seizure. That doesn't always ease my frustration. In my mind, I'm still angry about whatever he's done that's made me irritated. Well, then I tend to seize, and then I see his point of view, and then I need to apologize. It's a group effort. So we've had to learn how to have a conversation. We've had to learn how to talk about the fact that just him saying, you're mad, you're going to have a seizure, doesn't mean I'm not mad. And talking about it a little more makes me see that, okay, I might be just a little bit irritable. And yeah, you're probably right, a seizure is coming on. We had to learn how to have a conversation. With all that said, I'm now going to talk about the four-letter word that's awful. It's the uncomfortable four-letter word that if you have a disability, you don't know how to handle it. Sometimes it makes you angry. It's the four-letter word that we like to refer to as help. I'm reading I put a quote up here, and I think it's very, very powerful. It kind of sums it up. It says, having an endless parade of well-intentioned helpers is not the same as having a group of friends who value and respect you. And that's by Emma Vanderclift and Norman Kunk. They have done a lot in terms of in the disability realm. They have come up with a credo that we're going to listen to. But that is very true. There's a difference between having friends who value and respect you and just having a bunch of people that want to help you. And oftentimes that puts our friends and family at a disadvantage because we live in the South. And in the South, we love to help. I mean, we do. It's in our nature. Helping is part of who we are. So how do you help? How does it happen? Here are some words and some things that you should always take into mind if you're going to help someone without a disability. It's very, very important. The first one is to respect personal boundaries. Giving help when needed, but only after you have asked. It may take a person with a disability 10 minutes to open the door, but at the end of the day, they opened it. 5 minutes to open their own bottle of water, but it was theirs to open, and 30 minutes to put on their pants, but they put them on. It's when you take away our ability to do these things, and however long amount of time it takes us, that you've taken away a little bit of our independence. Help is not something that we don't appreciate. We do, and that's not what we're trying to say. We're just saying that there needs to be a time when you ask and is respected if it's said no. Sandy's got a story she's going to share with you about Lydia and this very thing of someone asking for help and then how it was handled by somebody else.
Well, the other day at work, it was just kind of, oops, wait a minute. Okay, I'm Sandy. The other day at work, I was sitting in the office, and Lydia was coming in. We do not have a door that just automatically opens, so she was kind of trying to jimmy it, trying to get it open. I hollered at her, "Hey, Lydia, do you need help?" She said, "No, I got it." I said, "Okay," so I didn't even bother to get up because she said she had it. It wasn't a second later, it seemed like a lady comes up behind her and said, "Oh, you need help?" And Lydia said, "No, I got it." And the lady shoots me the meanest look, like I was the meanest person you'd ever seen, just because I didn't get up and open the door for her. But Lydia had it. So we're good. So
It's that very thing. It's sometimes, though they may not understand it, in our mind, we do have it. Help should always be natural and situation rooted. Helping someone should really be for their benefit and not because it makes you look good or you feel good about yourself or you feel like you have to. If you help because you feel obligated to, then it's not natural and situation rooted. Lydia has a story about how oftentimes if you don't know how to help, you really can hurt the person that you're helping because we do have disabilities and they like to be funny sometimes.
Last month I went to the doctor and I had to take a urine specimen, and the lady asked me how she could help me, and I told her, but apparently for her that wasn't enough help for me. So she tried to lift me, and she was holding me under my arms and restricting my strong side. Not only did she almost drop me, but I couldn't help her because she was holding the arm that helps me to help her. So that's an example where when people say they got it, they have it, it's not only dangerous for them, but it can be dangerous for you too.
And the last point is something that is so true. People with disabilities literally spend a lifetime struggling to be heard. We must learn to listen. That's the most that we ask. Please just listen. We'll tell you what we need. We don't mind speaking up for ourselves. Most of us can be quite boisterous if you give us the chance.